Hey everyone, Catch 'em All Collectibles here. In today's video, I'm going to give an update on that binder collection I bought last late fall, early winter. I think it was November time frame. I did buy two distinctly different collections from the same individual. It was a $23,000 binder collection buy of Pokemon, and this will be just the non-Pokemon for this video. I'm probably going to do at least 2 or 3 more videos on this collection, but I've had quite a few people asking me for an update. This is just going to be the non-Pokemon only. I'll give you a spreadsheet. I'll give you a spreadsheet that a friend, shout out Swammey. A lot of people, I always hate naming names because I feel like I'm going to leave someone off, but Swammey, Kai, Retro, a lot of people checked out the collection up front, checked out the videos. I will have the videos linked in the description below, the original binder videos that I received when I was determining whether or not I wanted to buy the collection. Basically what happened is someone was recommended to me, as well as Nick Old School Pokemon, and I think Rusty and a handful of other people. Hey, reach out to these guys. They might be interested in buying your collection. I had an individual DM me on Instagram and then send me tons of videos to this 25,000 card collection, Pokemon and non-Pokemon. So $48,000 for the total buy, but we're just going to look at the $25,000 portion that was non-Pokemon. So there's going to be a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of numbers here. We'll just work through it best we can. As always, my spreadsheets are pretty unorganized. I'll try to tidy it up as I go, but it is the day before I leave for Collecticon Dallas, and I have a lot more preparation to do, and I figure for the people very interested, I think this will be something to keep them following along on the progress of the collection. So anyways, $25,000 initial buy, $2,180 in added grading fees. I am tracking. I don't normally, when I buy a collection, track so meticulously every card that comes from that collection. A lot of times I'll just buy, say, a 5K or a 10K collection and just add it to my inventory. And I won't do any kind of a special way to follow along what I'm doing with that specific buy. With this one, part of the reason that I have to, because I made an interesting agreement with the seller to, if the upside is very, very high in this collection on a given time frame, they will get more money than the 25,000. So why don't I get into that up front? A lot of people ask, how do you go about negotiating for such a large collection? At the end of the day, I really don't offer to buy anything unless it comes with a price. I believe this originally came to me with a price of 30,000, and I couldn't quite get to 30,000. We ended up obviously agreeing on 25,000, but given that the seller made a concession of $5,000 on the front end, we added in an interesting term, which I've never really done before, but I have heard of deals in other areas, non-card spaces, where like something of the sort happens. So within a year, so basically 6 months, we're halfway in. It's kind of a good halfway check-in point for this arrangement. If and when I net more than 15,000 profit, so after grading fees, after shipping fees, selling fees of all kinds, if I clear more than 15K profit, so that would be like, obviously I paid 25 for it, 40K net free and clear after everything, I will share every dollar beyond 40K, 15K net profit, 80-20 with the seller. Obviously this is completely a trust thing on the seller's side. If I were a dishonest individual, they would have no recourse, no way. I'm putting this out there publicly, and I mentioned to them I would put this out there publicly, that I will stand by my word if and when I do net over 15,000 profit within a year. So by I'll have to look for the exact date, but I will share 20% of that. So it kind of, it doesn't really limit my upside, because theoretically, if it turned into $1 million collection, which was never reasonable, never going to happen, I mean, I would get 800,000, I guess $1,025,000. I would get 800,000 of that $1 million profit, and the seller would get 200,000. I mean, we'd all be happy in that instance. But anyways, where we're at, I guess one thing I'll show you too, I took this little snapshot of my eBay, 25K. I paid 25K for it. So I denoted this collection as 25K. How I track like my consignments when I'm selling someone else's cards, I have a 3-letter acronym, letters and numbers, alphanumeric, I guess. So I have a three alphanumeric character, not really an acronym, but just a 3-digit code for sorting out what's what. And I just created a 25K code for this 25K collection. So as it stands today, as I make this listing, after everything I've sold, I still had 51 cards from this collection, and I have them listed for a total price of $20,000. They've not sold. So these ones have obviously not sold in the time that, I mean, I'm making this video 6 months later, and I still have them. They're overpriced to some extent. Maybe some will eventually trickle out, but as you can see from my sales here, weeks between some sales. A lot of times, like when you see in early April, there were several sales made. Those are when I'm sending out 20, 25, 30% off offers. I really need to go through at some point in the next month and aggressively reprice a lot of these slabs. I will be bringing them. I'm recording this again pre-Dallas Collecticon. By the time you watch this video, hopefully I will have good things to report. Let me quickly show you. Not all of the cards I will be bringing, but some of the cards I will be bringing. You can see they're stickered. I did bring them to Orlando Collecticon. But yeah, I will be bringing these. I will slash the prices, not crazy, but I will slash them to some extent to re-show them at Dallas, because these were the prices I had them at Orlando where they did not sell. So yeah, anyways, continuing on, there's a lot of moving parts here. There's a lot of things going on. But if you look at this portion of the spreadsheet, 25,000 initial buy, added grading fees, this negative $5,000. That is where I stand as of today. This is 25,000 plus 2180, so 27,180 minus all the money I've netted. So not gross sales. This is obviously net. You can see I have a formula where I do 87% of sale minus $5, $5 for shipping, 87% to account for the 13% eBay fees. If I've made private sales, this section is actually private sales, you'll see that the math on it, some of these were cash sales. Some of the transactions were significantly cheaper. Like this lot of Naruto singles, that was a cash sale in person in Orlando. There was no fees. So you can see the gross and the net are the same. Same thing goes for the BGS 9.5 Naruto card, the Jiraiya card. A lot of these, February 25th was actually the weekend of Collecticon. So yeah, you can see some of them were transaction fee free sales, and that is reflected in it. Then a few PayPal sales. One of the standout things, one singular card. So I bought 25,000 cards approximately for $25,000, and my black label Susanoo, probably not saying that the right way, but yeah, so Sasuke Susanoo, $4,000. So one singular card netted me $3,840. But at the end of the day, having sold what I've sold, I'm $5,000 away from being like made whole, having all my money, my original outlay plus grading fees returned back to me. And I'm confident that I'll get there within the next couple months. Again, I said I will be aggressively repricing a lot of these slabs. Anyways, here's my eBay sales. If anyone wants to pause, if they care to see what the individual sales were, I will show you all the grading fees. One other portion that is being calculated for in some way. I need to think of how to do it. Troll and Toad Evo. I sent out approximately, I think it was 2,000 cards. Maybe not that many. Maybe it was 1,000. But I sent out Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dragon Ball Z cards to Troll and Toad Evo raw fulfillment. What that service is, I pay 10 cents a card. They add it into my inventory and I list it. The total listed retail price of that was approximately $7,700. So had that all sold, obviously that will be subject to fees. As Troll and Toad sells for me, I will have to pay fees. Maybe I'll net maybe 75% of that. But it is very hard to piece out how much of that I've sold so far. It's very, very difficult. I've not done it yet. It's not something I'm going to keep up on an ongoing basis. Troll and Toad Evo is actually ending towards the end of the year. So sometime in November, I will run, because I do have some other Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't have any other Dragon Ball Z. I should be able to get at what Dragon Ball Z has sold and what hasn't, because I can just search to see what in my entire Evo inventory, what Dragon Ball Super is remaining. But the Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a little more complex because I did have Yu-Gi-Oh! Otherwise. So at some point or another, I'll probably have to allocate at least $3,000 to $5,000 in net sales from the proceeds of this. And then I do also have, with some individuals, I don't know if they want to be named or not, but some of the people who helped me uh appraise the collection on the front end and determine how much I wanted to pay, they have the Dragon Ball Z cards, they have the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So people are actively almost doing like consignment services for me, where they are keeping some portion of the net sales and then splitting off to me, almost like a Troll and Toad Evo, but with an individual. That's something that I've done over the years periodically with different people who are more expert in a certain area. Or if I just have overflow and I have too much, I can send something to someone. It's a great like mutually beneficial relationship to set yourself up in. Anyways, I think that is everything I have on this front page. You can see right here when I added in the I went into the green when I added in the theoretical net of 80% on that, but I don't know where I'm at exactly. If I had to guess, maybe like 2K to be safe. So I'm probably still a few grand away. I'm hopeful. Part of me making this video, I'm hopeful I can net about 3K in sales in Dallas. One additional thing that I do have to add, I have a note here: check other Orlando sales / trades. I traded a Super Saiyan 3 Goku that was listed. I had it listed for $2,500. It was one of the bigger cards in the collection. Well, I traded it. So how do you go about valuing it? I believe I traded it for approximately $1,000 in Pokemon, some other portion of non-Pokemon. I took a picture of the trade, so I'll have to go back and look and see what I netted out of the other cards, but probably at least another $1,500 or so that I need to account for in net. These are 2 Dragon Ball cards that I took in trade towards that DBZ score, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Or I believe that's what it was, a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Anyways, this could be potentially 1,000 to 1,500 depending. So we're getting closer to break even. I think by the end of Dallas Collecticon, hopefully I will move at least one or maybe a couple of these bigger pieces here. I'm hopeful that Dallas, the date that this video goes live, I will have likely a couple other sales, and I will likely have passed into the profit 6 months later. 6 months later and a fair bit of work. But anyways, I'll quickly show. I'm tracking all the PSA returns. I believe that I've graded everything that will be graded at PSA by me. I do have on consignment. I know some more Dragon Ball Z cards are going. I know some more Yu-Gi-Oh cards are going. So I will update down the line. If the individuals want to have their names shared, I can do that. But yeah, these were the ones that I graded myself. Dragon Ball Super is like bulletproof, very easy to grade. I did not do too great on what I graded. I got, as you can see, less than half 10s, decent amount of 9s, and even a couple 8s in there. I didn't do a ton of pre-grading because I heard how bulletproof Dragon Ball Super was. The second batch did a fair bit better, over half 10s. And then BGS, you can see the higher value tier that I did. I paid about $48 a card to get this top batch, a lot of the Dragon Ball Z score, and then some of the Naruto. And then I paid about $25 a card to get these lower ones. And down in here, the $25 a card, that's where I hit the 3 black labels. So I had some massive cards down in this. I sold the Susanoo, as I mentioned, for 4K. I have these 2 other ones. I might lower them to $1,500 each. We'll have to see if they will sell at that. I'll probably check for comps. Naruto, very, very illiquid, very, very niche. Nowhere near the sales history of Pokemon or other TCGs like that. So very interesting collection overall. One thing I did want to share, shout out to Swammey, as I mentioned earlier, the weeks leading into me potentially buying this, the ask price was 30K. I countered at like 20, and then ultimately, obviously, we met in the middle at 25, and we met with the 80-20 split on any gains over 15,000. I feel very comfortable if I make $15,000 net within a year on this. I'm very comfortable splitting every further $1,000 I get, giving $200 back to the seller. At this point, depending on how the consignments go, depending on how everything goes, it feels plausible that I might owe some little bit more. I don't think it will be substantial. I don't see it being thousands and thousands, but maybe hundreds, maybe $1,000. We'll have to see how it goes. I will do like a closeout video. I'll probably call it a. I'll wrap it up on the year anniversary that I bought this and just say like, this is where I'm at. I have X amount left listed. At that point, I won't have anything else to grade myself because I am trying to get through everything. I will have linked in the description below the original folder with all these videos. So when you're looking in column B, the 4-digit numbers between 1238 and 1384, that is the That is the number of the video. So if you want to go through and you want to look at what I have, a lot of it's gone. Anything Dragon Ball Z is gone. Anything Naruto is all gone. I sold off all the bulk. Yu-Gi-Oh is all gone. I sold off some of it and then I consigned out the rest. And I troll and toad Evo some of it. I still have the Power Rangers. I have almost all the Power Rangers. And as you can see, Swammey, he did not factor it on a 29K purchase. Apparently, maybe it wasn't 30, maybe it was 29. But anyways, I still have the Weiss. There wasn't much there. I did sell the Gundam. I sold a lot of the big hitters out of Yu Yu Hakusho. LOL. I was going to say League of Legends. This is not League of Legends. This is Swami laughing at what's in there. There was some interesting waifu stuff. All the Vanguard waifu city, those will be linked in the description below. I've not touched them. And as you can see, Swami, he quoted these binders somewhere between $300 and $2K. There are definitely cards raw in the $10 range. I don't know if Naruto or Vanguard has moved in the past several months, but definitely check out these videos. If anyone has any interest in Vanguard, feel free to hit me up. I have not touched any of it. I've taken it out of the binders. A lot of it's raw mint. I don't know if Vanguard is gradable or not, but like a lot of these cards would be very gradable. They're very flashy and shiny looking. They look like they could have value, but I just have no idea. And Swami gave a pretty big range on what he thought they might be worth. So I definitely owe Swami several beers and or a solid meal, probably more than that even. I do have actually, I haven't given them to him yet, but I've handpicked out some cards that I think he'll enjoy from this collection to forward along to him at some point, hopefully in person, but I won't be making Denver Collecticon this year, unfortunately. Anyways, as I said, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Yu-Gi-Oh are all gone. As far as where the rest of the value is on what I have on hand, I think it's primarily just the Vanguard. I do have Power Rangers, as I said. I have a bunch of dinosaur cards that I'm going to give to my son. Not too much else, but if anything non-Naruto, non-Yu-Gi-Oh, non-Dragon Ball catches your interest in those videos, if you care to look through them, definitely hit me up because I probably have them. I sold a small batch of chaotic cards. The chaotic cards are all gone. I did sell the Gundam. The Gundam is all gone. But a little bit of Final Fantasy, a little bit of Weiss, not too much. Some buddy fight dust, as Swami said. Hopefully he's fine with me sharing the spreadsheet. I did go through and I edited lightly a couple of his commentary. Not anything crazy, but it did mention some specific people for me to consult with. So I just didn't want anyone's names in here. Yeah, anyways, I think that's everything I wanted to show. I do have one submission. I think I forgot to mention so far, but I do have one more submission out at BGS. Their website is really bad. I forget how many cards I sent. Somewhere I took a send-off video. Maybe I can find it quickly, actually. Somewhere I did do a send-off video. Here's a PSA send-off video. So that's not it. I actually do have a couple Naruto cards at PSA, but then primarily I have stuff at Beckett. I probably have a few dozen Naruto cards. Hopefully I'll hit a black label again. I don't believe there will be any other card that's $4,000 tier, but I did have some of the non-alternate art Susanoo without Sasuke in it. I am like 5 episodes deep into Naruto, the anime now. I have no cards in hand except for the graded stuff, but yeah, I'm giving a try to the anime because I've had so many cards passed through my hands. It's interesting. 5 episodes in, like I'm entertained while I'm watching it, but I don't really have too much commentary to give on that. I figured I'd just mention that in here because at some point I'm probably going to try out Dragon Ball Z too. But anyways, I think that's everything. If anyone has any specific questions, if there's something I didn't cover that you wanted me to, let me know because I'll definitely make one at a year to close it all out, but I'll probably make one in the interim as well. And I might do one on the Pokemon too. Interestingly, I bought the Pokemon for $23K. That is also a very successful purchase. I'm going to do very well with it. That one didn't have any upside additional negotiation. That one was just $23K straight up. One bit of safety that I had in making this purchase is that I am a trusted known face in the community. I made that video recently, putting yourself out there. If I remember, maybe I'll link putting yourself out there video. Being a trusted face in the community, having a name out there of some kind. The person who sold to me, they did ship to me first. So Dan is crazy. how did he make such a big collection buy without knowing what he was getting into? Because honestly, like a lot of the guys I was consulting with were like very iffy, very borderline. They were worried for me a little bit. No one I don't think wanted to stick their neck out there and say go for it, but I kind of YOLO'd it and I went for it, and I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I had all the help. Because if you looked at those numbers that I showed you on the spreadsheet Swammey made me, they didn't quite add up to 25K. So, but yeah. Anyways, I did theoretically have the option. It's not an option I would have wanted to use, but the seller was describing all the cards as like mint, pack fresh, very, very mint, likely gem mint. There were unfortunately a lot of binder ding cards. If you do watch the videos in the description, the pages are being flipped through, 3-ring binders. A lot of the cards are in the binder sleeves, not even in penny sleeves. And a lot of cards near the rings got binder dinged. Thankfully, a lot of the big hitters, a lot of the ones that I ended up grading, were in the middle of the 9-pocket page, so they did not get binder dinged. The guy knew what he was doing, the guy who put this collection together. I didn't buy it from the person who put the collection together. I bought it from some other party. But yeah, anyways, part of my safety in buying this, part of my theoretically, I had like a nuclear option of, and it wouldn't have even been like a massive deal. I would have felt like a little bit of a jerk about it if I had just, at my cost, fully returned everything, hundreds of dollars in shipping because of 25,000 cards, all the binders and all that. But theoretically, I could have taken that option. I would have reimbursed the person for shipment, and I would have apologized profusely, I'm sure. But the only reason I would have had to take that route if the cards were not as described anyways. So yeah, so some people might wonder, how could you be so crazy? How could you take such a big leap? I did have that option to just return it all because I hadn't paid for anything up front. Being that name out there, being trusted in the community, I had the benefit of someone reaching out to me. I took a shot on it. It panned out. I paid everything in full. And then, I mean, the rest is history. The rest is what's leading to these videos. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a massive, massive collection. I put a lot of time into it. At a year in, I'll try to estimate maybe approximately how much time I have into it. It'll be very hard to do, though, because there's just so much behind the scenes, I guess. And yeah, I'll have consignment payouts coming in as the year continues to progress. I do have several people all over the world working on some of their areas of expertise, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, other than that, shout out to everybody who helped me along the way in appraising that collection and figuring out if it was worth it and just figuring out what was there. And then also shout out to everyone who's helping me work through it, Troll and Toad included. And again, I can name more people if they don't mind, if they watch this video and let me know that they want to be named in the next one. But yeah, that's everything I've got for today. I will be returning from Dallas Collecticon the day that you're watching this. I will do my normal schedule this week. I'll do a live stream talking about Dallas. Hopefully I have a voice to some extent, but I might not. And then it's not a Pokeflips week. But yeah, it's going to be... It will have been a great weekend. This coming weekend for Dan that's recording, last weekend for Dan that is that you're watching. So yeah. Anyways, that's plenty. That's long enough for me. Sub 25 minutes. I appreciate everyone watching, and I will catch you all later.